Angela, King Charles has agreed to do an interview with the BBC. Now, after Prince Andrew's interview, I can't help but be a little bit nervous. What do you think the King will want to focus on? And what's the chance it ends up as another train wreck?
Every chance. There is every chance this will be a train wreck, and I cannot believe that he will even be doing this. The royal family have tremendous form. The Charles interview 30 years ago, 1994, with Jonathan Dimbleby, where he basically confessed to cheating on his wife. Prince Andrew's interview, Diana's Panorama interview, you know, they don't work. The Oprah interview, where Meghan and Harry were proven, you know, the many things that they were said which were proven to be erroneous. I do not know why, in the age of social media, when they can let actions do the talking rather than words, that they think they need to do a sit-down interview. And if I was Charles, I'd be very, very careful. He has 20 years at best to create a legacy. His mother had 70 years, and she created that legacy by speaking to her public, down a television camera, as I'm doing right now, not in an interview situation, but straight down the barrel of a camera when it was necessary, when Diana died, when COVID hit and she wanted to talk to her people. The Queen Mother, of course, before television did the same. She talked about the war. To sit down and do an interview is just the most misguided, idiotic thing that I could imagine him doing, but he probably will.
Yeah, I think he will too. And Sophie, if I can quickly go back to you, do you see the same? Do you have the same sort of view? Do you see that there is the possibility that this could end up doing more damage than good?
Caroline, I'm with Angela on this. I think this is a disaster waiting to happen, and I don't understand what King Charles will gain from this. If I was his media advisor, I'd be putting him in a room, sitting him down, giving him a cup of tea and a scone and saying, do not do this. This is just going to make your life a misery. You will have everyone pour over every single second of commentary you make. I just don't understand the logic behind this. And I think for the media outlets, this is a godsend. They will love this. But I think King Charles is very likely to say something he may regret, or he could trip up, as we've seen, as Angela said, with multiple other interviews with the royal family. So I would be advising King Charles to stay quiet.
And so just before I leave you, just a quick one. I'm a fan of Fergie, and while Andrew's had to keep a low profile, which we've covered, she's been out hustling. What's the latest on the workhorse?
Well, she's obviously an author and she's put out multiple books and she's making money out of it. Fergie's a little bit of an entrepreneur in her own right. I mean, she was meant to come to Australia in this year and do a tour and talk about all things, the royal family and so forth. That was suddenly postponed. She's now got this latest book coming out. She's trying to make money in her own right, which I don't immediately dismiss her on, but I do think it's trashy if she goes down the path of talking about the Queen and the issues in the royal family. And let's be honest, that's all anyone wants to hear. But I think, her trying to make a dollar for herself, I'm not going to criticise her for trying to do that.
Yeah, no, neither will I. Now, Tanvir, Rebel Wilson has recently commented on her first impressions of meeting Harry and Meghan. Here's what she had to say.
Met Harry, could not have been nicer.
Had you known them before, I would assume?
No, we just had a mutual friend in common, a polo player. And then we went up, but then Meghan was not as cool.
Oh, really?
It wasn't as naturally warm. Like, who are these annoying convicts from Australia?
But Harry was lovely.
Yeah, he was actually lovely.
Tanvir, do you think that her first impressions, and she is a celebrity, but do you think they reinforce what the rest of us expect about that relationship dynamic?
Yeah, I think so. It probably makes us think that, well, she certainly wears the pants and is driving a lot of what's happened behind the scenes. And being too forthright or, Rebel Wilson, I think Australians, we have great BS detectors, and Rebel Wilson's mum probably had a bit of that, and she probably feared that, and which might have explained her coolness.
One last one, Angela. Harry's been described as beige and drained of his feisty ginger lifeblood. Now, look, we've all noticed a bit of a change in the prince, but do you think this is a little bit harsh?
Oh, I couldn't stand that outfit that he wore for the interview. It was beige t-shirt, beige jacket. This is just California casual. This is straight from yoga. It's awful. I preferred Harry when he was in army, army kit, or when he was in running the Invictus Games. I want to see him back doing his work. You know, in a suit. Look, the Prince of Montecito look does not work for me, I'm afraid.
No, it doesn't work for me either. I think I much preferred him as a working royal in all that kit.